so let's get to a little bit more news before we put a bow on this bitch. UFC 156, God, it is turning out to be such a beautiful-ass card. Let's talk about a couple matchups that have recently been made for UFC 156. We knew it was going to feature Frankie Edgar and Jose Aldo, a fight that's still probably going to headline it just because there's a belt on the line. But 2 fights being made. We'll talk about the first one first. We'll talk about the big guys, Alistair Overeem versus Antonio Bigfoot Silva. What are your guys' early thoughts? I see this all day going to Alistair Overeem. Bigfoot, you know, he really is a freak. I mean, facing up with Travis Brown, his head was twice as big as Travis Brown, just a monster of a man. But you know, you're fighting another monster of a man. You weren't necessarily going to have that size advantage. There is no better striker in the UFC than Alistair Overeem, a former K1 champion. I see this ending in quick fashion in the first round even. Alistair Overeem by, why not, head kick KO. He is an animal in Alistair Overeem. Hopefully this is the only obstacle he has to get over before they schedule him against the heavyweight champion and we get to see the Reem fight for that belt finally.
Sweet baby Jesus. I hope you are right with that prediction, Jake. I would love to see Overeem get the head kick knockout over Bigfoot Silva. I mean, these two guys, it's the heavyweight battle of the biggest, most juiced up freaks in the UFC right now. They're going to come into this fight. They're going to be roided to the fucking gills. I can guarantee it. They're going to be pissing hot. And I tell you what, I just hope we get to see some more blood. My prediction for this one is Overeem lands a straight right on Bigfoot's freakish jaw. He breaks his hand and knocks Bigfoot out in the process. So I'm seeing that easy knockout for Overeem.
I gotta agree. This damn fight, Overeem and Bigfoot, that's gonna be a fun fight to watch. It's gonna be a fucking freak show. This thing is, I'm not even gonna bet this fight just so I can enjoy it. You know, like. If a fight's good enough and ridiculous enough like this, I don't even bet it, just so I can enjoy it more, you know? It doesn't matter who wins in this one. I think we all know Overeem's going to take it, but it's going to be bloody. It's going to be, it ain't even going to be a UFC fight. It's going to be like watching the WWE, all right? I'm hoping at one point the ref gets distracted, starts looking away, and there's eye gouges and fucking fish hooks. And I hope it plays out just ridiculous as it looks. And my prediction, if I have to give one, Overeem's going to win by fucking chair smash to the head of Bigfoot. Knockout.
Yeah, this seems like Bigfoot looked pretty good in his last fight, and he's a scary guy, but Overeem's got all the skill in the world. I mean, it's one thing being big, but when you've got the skill and the technique of someone like Overeem, and we've seen it against Brock Lesnar, who, you know, is obviously a beast as well, but he couldn't hang with Overeem. Overeem will keep the fight standing, and he'll blast his legs. He'll look for the body shots because he likes to do the body shots, and he'll get a knockout. I'll be very surprised if this fight makes it out of round 1.
Good night, Irene.
Good night.
This is the absolute perfect matchup in the division for Alistair Overeem. They were originally slated to fight each other in the Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix. Fortunately, Overeem went over to the UFC, and Fedor Emelianenko, I believe, replaced Cormier. Cormier replaced Overeem in that semifinal. So this fight is tailor-made for Alistair Overeem. You have a guy who can't take a punch, gets dominated by guys who could fight at light heavyweight, as well as has a giant head as a target. Alistair Overeem has some fantastic kickboxing skills. His fundamentals are awesome. Yeah, a lot of people say he was glass-jawed at 205, but at this point in Alistair Overeem's career, there's a reason why he's so successful. His neck doesn't whiplash because he doesn't have a neck. When you get knocked out, it's either on the temple or it's your neck snapping and that impact of your brain hitting the skull, which doesn't happen when he's at heavyweight because there's no room for movement with his neck. It doesn't move. So I think fundamentally Alistair Overeem wins. I think his aggressive style is perfect. Bigfoot is a slower kind of heavyweight. And if you match up ground games, Alistair Overeem, I don't see him getting submitted. He kind of stifled Fabricio Verdum. So I think when this fight happens, my favorite fighter of all time will win.
Alistair Overeem, I think all of us agree that he definitely outmatches Bigfoot in that fight. Probably what's going to be a little bit closer of a fight, we might see a little more discourse between the five of us. Sorry we didn't mention, if you're listening and you're like, where the fuck did Dave go? Did you all kill Dave? What the shit is going on? Dave, actually, he is a giant Buffalo Bills fan, and being Thursday night, his Bills are playing, so he had to dip out and go catch some brews at the bar with his friends. And then when he said he had to leave, we killed Dave. So yeah, rest in peace, Dave.